All right, we're rolling. Voice is being picked up.
Voice is in fact being picked up.
Oh my god. So this is happening. Did you ever think that we would get to a point where we would do something like this?
No.
Absolutely not.
No, it was a bit.
It all started as a fucking bit, and then one trip to Huey Magoo's, and suddenly it's just fucking. All right, well, like, we kind of just have to do it. I think I'm pushing for time right now. I'm like stalling.
Yeah.
But hey guys, welcome to.
Hold up.
His writing is this fire? A podcast run by two tired college writers, one professional.
And one not.
All right, so I'm Paper, pronouns they, them, and I've been wanting to do writing professionally for a few years now, and so I decided that's what I was going to pursue in, like, college and stuff. You, though.
What's up, y'all? It's me, your boy, the devil from the Bible.
We've talked about
What?
this. You're not,
Huh?
you're
What?
Angel.
Okay, no, but like it's the bit, you know.
Yes, I know
The
that.
bit.
I know.
Angel like Sonic.
Yes, I
Angel
know,
like-
but like,
Okay.
your name is literally Angel.
You never let me have any fun.
Whatever.
Anyways, hi, I'm Angel. Pronouns he, they, and I am not doing writing professionally. I tripped and fell and opened a Word doc once, and now here I am.
Isn't that all how we all get into writing, though? I feel like we all like just accidentally just like, I want to, or maybe it was like a professor somewhere that was like, hey, write a short story. And so you're like, that sounds stupid. I've never done that before. And then you just do it. And it's just like, holy shit, this is kind of fun.
It was Wattpad.
I forgot that you're on that side of the internet.
How can you forget? Everything about me.
Okay, you know what? Fair enough, honestly. With some of the characters you make, I'm not surprised.
Speaking of characters that I make, Paper, what is the topic of this episode?
Oh my god. That was totally not a planned transition. Segue! But no, this is, we're talking about character creation today.
Ooh.
I mean, any story starts with character creation, I would think.
I would sure hope so.
Yeah, I mean, characters drive the plot forwards, do they not?
Yeah.
So, I suppose, to start off, what is a character?
What is a character?
I mean, it's
Ooh.
pretty self-explanatory. I mean, we're characters, but a character is just like the participants in whatever story you're in.
Yeah.
And it's important that whenever you make some sort of character, the most important thing is knowing your story. Because if you put like a medieval like knight in like a sci-fi, that shit don't click.
Yeah, I think that is one of the first things I start with when I'm making a character. Albeit for any type of story, you know, is knowing what type of story I'm in and how's my character gonna fit in there. What role are they playing? You know, and do they play it well?
And I mean, roles are usually, a lot of people divide it upon like protagonist, antagonist, deuteragonist, all of these like fancy agonist words. But when we say role, and you can think of this, this does come from your experience in like Dungeons and Dragons and stuff. I mean, I play Dungeons and Dragons too, but when we're talking about this, it's just necessarily like what position are they in? So are they the character that we're following in our narrator, or perhaps you're doing third person, you're following multiple characters, and why are they there?
Or perhaps you're doing the accursed second person.
Ah! Who does second person?
I have to tell you something.
Oh, no, wait, right, your Wattpad, no!
No, listen. I think second person can be done really well. It takes a very specific execution, though. But that's for a different episode. That's for a different episode.
Yeah, we'll talk about YN later.
No! Ugh.
But I come from so my experience with writing always started with role-playing, and so I'm used to doing third person. And whenever you make a character for a role-play that you're involving yourself in, you obviously see what the server, what the forum, or whatever it's about, and you make a character befitting that. So for example, if I'm currently in a like super-powered meta-human, modern shit. So I wouldn't make like some sort of like ancient being. I mean, technically I could totally make one, but
my character is actually a 3,000-year-old dragon.
I'm actually secretly a god, half angel, half demon. Yeah, let's actually take the elephant out of the room. Please stop with the half angel, half demon. You can make that cool, but a lot of the time it's just people's excuse for a power fantasy. Let's be real here.
I think it's funny. It's funny if the half angel, half demon parents are just on your shoulders the whole time.
Or maybe it's some sort of enemies to lovers.
Yo.
Hey, yo.
Wait a minute.
Hold up.
His writing is this fire?
Oh my god,
my
it's the
God.
fucking name of the show.
We
Anyway.
did it.
But yeah, so that's an important thing. It's important to know what role they're playing in. And we'll get to the actual character making in a sec, but we just gotta like take like that care of that starting thing. Like if you're gonna make a character, make sure it fits.
Make sure it
Um,
fits.
But now let's actually talk about making the character. So
Mhm.
you have your setting, and if you don't know what a setting is, go back to school. No, I'm kidding. That's mean. That's really fucking mean. Sorry. Okay, no.
Lock in. Be mean.
Okay, well, yeah. If you don't know what a setting is, go back to school. But for you who don't want to go and do that, a setting is essentially where the story is taking place. This can be space. This can be Earth. This can be some sort of planet. This can be an alternate universe, fantasy world, etc., etc.,
It
etc.
covers your time period also.
Time period too. Yes, that is also
It's
very important.
important.
Which actually kind of segues perfectly. Oh my god, another segue.
Whoa.
Time period is also very important to take into consideration because that ties into their values and private personality.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, your talking points
My
are
talking points.
I know,
They're
right?
coming up. Yeah, so I think one thing that I always take care of when I'm making a character is knowing the difference between their private personality and their public personality.
Mhm.
Because they're two very different things.
Right.
Someone can act a very specific way in private and not act that way in public. I'm going to give an example and I need you to bear with me, okay? Are you ready?
Holding hands, all right.
Holding hands. I need you to bear with me. You're going to think, oh my god, Angel, you're so stupid. Why are you saying this to me right now? Are you ready? So Dr. Doofenshmirtz from Phineas and Ferb.
No. I'm gonna let him cook. Chat. I'm gonna let him cook.
So he also ties into my idea of what role are they playing and do they play it well.
Mhm.
Dr. Doofenshmirtz is supposed to be like your stereotypical bad guy.
Right.
You know, he's so evil. He's got all of his innators, you know. But he doesn't play that role well because despite the public persona he puts on that he's this evil, awful guy, he's really just like middle-aged dad trying his best.
I don't want to say he's a really good dad.
He's a really he's not actually that bad of a guy. He's just that's the public persona he is putting on, and it's almost like a defense. And it's like you trying to figure out why. Why is their public persona different?
Right.
Why is it maybe not different? Does your character completely wear their personality on their sleeve?
I like to think that if you have someone who's very genuine and they don't have any need to hide anything, they don't have a reason to have a private or public personality.
Yeah.
Something that I want to mention now that we're on the topic of personality is that everyone has their own style, and when you're writing personality, you don't have to be. It could just be a loose collection of like character defects or like a loose collection of character traits. But it depends on how you write them and if they have some sort of nuance and they're not so strictly put into that character. Like if you have someone who's selfless, maybe they do stick to that selfless feeling like overly like to the T, but that's at their own self-sacrifice. There has to be some sort of takeaway. There's a
Yeah.
give and a take.
Yeah.
But if someone's arrogant, maybe they're arrogant just because it's like they're scared. You know?
Aw, they're just a little baby.
They're just a little baby. I mean, I can't blame them for being arrogant, you know? If you grew up in a place where it was like fit only the fit survive, then you have to put on a tough persona that isn't really who you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's something that I consider that it's important to make that distinction because that's what gives your character depth.
Mm-hmm.
And something else that also gives them depth is their motivations. Oh my god, talking points.
Talking points.
Talking points. See, we didn't write. If you saw, we have an entire Google Doc. This is not even a full page. This is like half a page.
I have 5 talking points.
I have like one that I'm gonna bring in later once we get.
Yeah.
But
What is motivating them? What motivates your character? There's a lot of different things that can motivate a character. It can be careers. It can be aspirations. It could be another character. Whoa. Holy crap.
Guys.
The meta.
The meta. Oh my god. Meta.
Meta.
You won't understand that bit until later. Anyway. But yeah, their career aspirations, what's motivating them? Why do they keep going? Or alternatively, if there is nothing motivating them, why are they still trying? Or if they're not being motivated, then that's also plays into who they are.
If they're not getting motivated, are they giving up?
are they giving
Whoa.
up? Whoa.
Whoa. Guys, it's okay to make your characters give up sometimes.
You have quite a few of those.
Shh, be quiet. Be quiet.
But motivations can be anything. A motivation is just what we talk about external and internal motivators all the time. But characters have both. And some people lean more heavily into one than to the other. Me as a person, I consider myself that the strongest motivation I get is from inside. I just have a disturbing lack of internal motivation.
Yeah, not to bring up Dr. Doofenshmirtz again.
No.
However-
He's our case study.
He's our case study. Yes. Oh my God. So, like,
Is this an excuse just for you to like nerd about Dr. Doofenshmirtz? Is this the entire point
that
of
was not planned at all. I'm gonna be honest. He's just the first person that popped in my brain.
You've been waiting for this. You've been
I don't even know why.
Are you sure about that? You seem to have a tendency for dads.
Get the fuck out of here.
All right,
Get out of this
leaving the
recording studio right
Okay,
now.
Fine. It's okay if it makes you feel better. I like tall women.
No, because Dr. Doofenshmirtz, he has a motivator that I think acts both as his internal and external motivator. And that is his daughter, Vanessa.
Uh-huh.
He is both what motivates him internally, along with, the copious amounts of trauma he has.
It all started when I was born.
Both of his parents weren't there. Like, his mom hated him so much, she was like, nah.
Bro popped them out and then decided to dip.
She's like, I'm not even gonna give birth to this little shit. But his daughter's not only what motivates him internally, she also obviously motivates him externally because he has to take care of her. He has to provide for her. He wants to make her happy.
Mm-hmm. That's a motivation that's very, what's the word? Material, tangible, real. But they don't have to be tangible either.
No.
To use one of my OCs as an example, let's talk about Milan.
Oh my God.
Your favorite fantasy detective.
I love Milan.
I know, right? They're so slay. But their motivation relies on wanting to find the truth in everything, trying to find the truth in the world. And so that's what motivates them to push forwards. And especially if they're in a situation where the truth is being covered up, they feel even more compelled to keep going and figure out what the hell is going on. That's the whole reason why they showed up to the campaign. Yes, this is for a D&D campaign. Listen, D&D, you're gonna see that D&D is very applicable to a lot of things. But this just talks about character creation in general, and this is just creative writing in general. All of these things fall under creative writing, so we're gonna have a lot to talk about.
No, I definitely get what you mean about your motivation does not have to be tangible. Not to bring up one of my D&D characters, however.
I'm waiting for it.
I had this really fun character. His name's Valentino.
There it is!
His
Valentino's really cool, guys. I give him shit, but Angel made a good character.
I did! Thank you! Thank you! You can't see it, but I'm giving Paper a big old hug. Jesus Christ, it's hot in here.
No, right? It is hot in here.
Hot.
It is hot in here.
And not just because we're hot.
Oh my God. That is a terrible alarm to have at that moment. But, okay, what we can do is we'll go back to Valentino in a sec, but we need to cool down for a minute, because I promise you. Listen, we're college students for a reason. We are currently in a very cramped and very warm 5x5 recording studio right now, sharing a mic in between us. So we'll be right back.
The world of professional wrestling is a violently beautiful one. In an industry of superhuman feats and larger-than-life characters comes a medium of dramatic storytelling and truly unique emotional connection. But when the curtain is pulled back, it's the reality of professional wrestling that stands out to me. Behind each character is a human being. Behind each body slam or elbow, a bruise or lingering injury. You can see a character on screen, the whole world in their hands. But when you turn on the TV next week, the human being is gone. My name's Bimpy, and in this video essay coming soon, I'll be explaining how wrestling companies can honor the legacies of those they lose.
Button again? Oh, it is just button again.
We're back!
Welcome back to Hold Up. His rating is fire. We had to take a break because I can assure you, we've been recording for what, some 13 minutes now, 14, and it gets hot. We might be taking like those like 15-minute breaks every now and then.
I'll edit in a ad roll in the middle.
Oh God, not the ad rolls. We haven't, bro. We don't even got one viewer yet, and y'all already thinking about ads.
No, I'm gonna make the ad.
Oh, okay.
It's
okay.
gonna be an advertisement for. I'll figure that out later.
We could do a stupid fucking bit like related to ROCs, just like
Oh, you're so right.
Milan's detective agency or fucking Valentino's club. I don't know.
Club?
I don't know. What kind of like business would Valentino open if he could?
Drugs.
Oh my fucking God. I was expecting to hear like bakery, flower shop.
Maybe a lingerie store.
Yeah, that tracks.
He'd sell that.
So speaking of Valentino, Angel.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so motivations that are not tangible. Valentino's motivations are, first of all, very blurred. They're almost like they're not his own motivations because he doesn't really know what his motivations are, because his motivation in life is to be useful to the people around him.
Ouch. Sorry, that kind of hit close to home, chat. That one kind of hurt.
How do you think I feel?
Okay, yes, I know. We both have trauma. Okay, God,
Ah,
you're part of the club.
something daddy issues.
Something mommy issues. Fuck.
We can switch.
Hell no. You keep your daddy issues. I'll keep my mommy issues.
Fine, I'll keep the issue. I couldn't keep the dad though.
I can't make a witty commentary to that.
Hold up.
Hold up. His writing is this fire? But anyway.
But sometimes your character's motivations are not necessarily their own motivations. They're motivations that have been instilled on them by something outside externally. In the case of Valentino, it's from his dad, his father, who instilled this idea that if he's not useful, he's nothing.
Right.
And he wants to be something.
Yeah. And even if you don't want to go that route and traumatize your characters to such an extent, the search for motivation is motivation in and of itself.
Yeah.
Valentino could also, at some point, because I know you have an arc planned. You have an arc
Yes,
planned.
I do.
We call it the villain arc, but it's really just expressing your needs arc.
It's Valentino learning, oh my God, I don't owe anybody around me anything.
Holy shit.
Holy crap. It's his boundary setting arc. And he has to get there.
But once he's there, his search for finding that can be his motivation.
Yeah.
Motivation
yeah.
to find motivation is
think-
motivation.
Part of his future motivations is going to be just discovering who he is outside of other people's control and outside of what other people want him to be, discovering that it's okay to just be me.
Mhm.
And if people don't like that, that's more of a reflection on them than it is me.
Exactly. And all of these are different motivations, and it's really so a lot of people don't like them, but
Okay.
I support self-inserts, at least at the very beginning of a writer's journey. And this is why. Because you won't really understand how to make a good character
Mm-hmm.
that is akin to a human if you don't base it off. And if you don't base it off an already existing human.
Yeah.
And which human do you know best? You, except for those girlies who are having an identity crisis. Don't worry, I went through that too. It was in the middle of work too. Holy shit.
That's why I really do, as much as we can clown on it, writing fan fiction is a really great place to start.
Yes, I clown on it too. Don't get me. I have to admit, I clown on it too. But at the end of the day, it's creative
Should I
writing.
plug my AO3 account?
Oh my god, you should totally.
Maybe later.
Maybe later. At the end, that's when all the YouTubers,
But, I'm about to expose myself a little bit. Here we go. I didn't personally write a self-insert because I didn't like myself. Whoops. But my first real experience with writing a really long story, and don't fuck me on this. Don't make fun of me. There is X amount of people who might be listening right now.
There is X
Don't
amount of
bully
people.
me. Don't bully me.
No. This recording booth is a very hot but safe space.
Safe space. So it all started with Gravity Falls fan fiction.
Okay. See, here's the thing. You say don't make fun of me, and then you start giggling, which makes me start giggling.
I thought I say don't make fun of me, and then I say the coolest shit you've ever heard. Was Gravity Falls fan fiction?
Honestly, I'm considering what we look like. I was expecting to hear Sonic fan fiction.
Okay. That came later.
That came later. Okay.
Sonic characters, not that Gravity Falls characters aren't complex, but they were a little too high out of my pay grade for 11-year-old Angel. He was struggling.
Listen. No diss. I never watched Gravity Falls, but well, no, that's a lie. I watched it, but it was like when it was like on like episodic. It was like on Disney XD. And so I didn't like follow it throughout.
It wasn't quite in the really expanded lore bits yet.
Yeah, no, it was mostly just like, oh my god, Gravity Falls is on Disney XD. And what I meant to say is that I do like Sonic characters. My favorite is Silver. You could probably assume why.
That's my fault.
That's your fault, yeah.
That's my fault.
Your fault. You did this.
But even though I didn't write a self-insert, I took a character that I thought had similar motivations to me, and I projected onto him. And his name was Dipper Pines.
Oh, that tracks. I don't mean that in a bad way.
What the fuck does that mean?
that just fits, because I see the similarities. I see the parallels.
Yeah,
one could say you are a Dipper-coded person.
He's stressed, and so am I.
It's college, man. What do you expect? But anyway... But if it makes you feel better, you projected onto someone with similar motivations. My first real OC, or my first original creation, by the way, we keep saying the word OC, that's original creation. I'm sure if you've been on the internet at any amount of time, you've seen that, but, just in case.
You guys know what an OC is.
Yeah, but, like, we're trying to be general audience, But anyway, my first OC was just an idealized version of myself, because I also didn't like myself much. So I'm like, what would happen if I made a character that was just, that had my insecurities, but they just weren't as prevalent as they were now? And again, this was when I was also like 12, 13. But that we knock self-inserts, but that's the gateway really to writing believable characters.
It was really interesting because I would write characters or project onto characters who had the same insecurities as me, but when I was writing those characters, they had no real reason to have those insecurities because they were obviously so falsified in their mind. And I think it was a little birdie in my brain trying to go, Angel, it's okay. And it's almost like that was my way of comforting myself without realizing that I was doing it.
Right. And that, honestly, I'm gonna be so for real. I started role playing when I like got really into it. That was just escapism, dog.
It was all escapism.
It was all escapism. That's what we become creative writers, guys.
That's what the authors don't want you to know.
Yeah, they're escaping from the reality,
It's
too.
all escapism.
It's all escapism.
It's all a lie.
Yo, this has become a psychology podcast, too. So let's talk about defense mechanisms.
Let's talk about existentialism.
I don't see the correlation there.
Did you know that nothing you do matters?
Oh my god, don't hit me with that shit now, bro.
Nothing we do matters in the grand scheme of the universe.
Bruh, I be in my game studies class getting existential crisis. We were talking about politics the other day, and who's our professor, but probably blur that out later. My professor, she was like, it's all politics. And I'm like, oh my god, it's all politics. This school is all politics. It's all politics.
Hey, calm down.
No.
It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
We're gonna be right back.
Talk about character attitude.
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about character attitude.
Right. Okay. So far we tackled, well, I won't talk about attitude yet because that's kind of like, what do you call it? You can use everything that we've talked about here to create a character, but I believe attitude is that sort of like missing ingredient that just really brings it to the next level. And I'll probably use another OC of mine later. But I want to talk about backstory for a minute here.
Ooh.
And I didn't mention that in my talking points, but it's because I'm actually talking now. Whoa. It's almost like a podcast is a method of talking and getting the information out in a more casual way.
What are you talking about? I haven't been talking at all. You're alone in this studio.
Oh my god, this recording is going to be crazy.
There's nobody here.
There's nobody here. So what are you? Some sort of like AI projection?
No, I'm your mental illness.
Oh my god. So, now just imagining I'm like up and then I like move over to the other side.
Your mental illness made a twink.
Oh god damn it. Listen, I know I'm a twink, but you don't have to bring that out to me. But anyway,
Yeah.
backstory. Backstory. Let's talk about another elephant in the room. Perfect backstories are ass. I'm sorry. They are. Perfect personality, perfect characters are ass. They're so boring.
I hate Mary Sue's.
Mary Sue's, Gary Stu's, Larry
Moo?
Moose, I guess. I don't
Oh
know.
my
I'm
God.
fairly.
Is that the non-binary equivalent of Mary Sue and a Gary Stu? It's a Larry Moo?
It's a Larry Moo. Oh my god, guys.
Or is it a Huey Magoo?
Oh my god, we are pioneers. But your backstory plays a huge part in who your character is, and vice versa. Who your character is plays a large part in the backstory. And this is what I mean by this. Because of certain events in your life, you turned out the way that you are. I'm calling you all out now, right now, including you, Angel.
Don't look at me like that.
I'm looking at you
Because of certain events in your life.
yes, but I accept it.
And now we're in a recording studio.
Okay, yes, we're in a fucking recording studio. But yeah, because of certain events in your life, you became who you are, and vice versa. Who you are has led you to certain events in your life. Both of them are interlinked. When you're making a character, and I want to give them like some practical tips. When you're making a character, just start somewhere. You can start anywhere, really, anywhere where inspiration strikes. You have a cool power. Okay, cool. So now we can see how your personality ties into that power, how your backstory. Maybe that's how they got their power. Their name, maybe it's a reflection of the power. I personally always enjoy starting with either personality or backstory.
I'm a start with the backstory kind of guy.
You're a start with the backstory kind of guy. I
I'm
could
a
do
start
either.
with the
I could
backstory
swing
kinda
either way.
guy.
I could swing either
You
way.
know?
But wherever you start, personality or backstory is really good because that's about as close to the core as you can get to your character without going into attitude. And again, we'll get to attitude later. Let me cook.
God, you're edging me right now.
Listen, it's got to be exciting, bro. You can't just like dump it all out at once. Trust me, we're getting up to the 30 minutes mark. Don't worry, we'll get to like
We'll get to it.
We'll get to it.
We'll
But
get there.
for example, another character I have, or actually no, rather than introducing another character, let's go back to Milan, for example. Their personality is a reflection of their backstory. In their backstory, they were used and abused in the past by their family, and so that's why familial trauma.
Yay!
I know that I said that you don't always have to do trauma, but you know it's fun. But it's fun to traumatize your
It
character.
builds character.
Exactly. Oh my god, it's a character building episode.
Whoa.
There's so many layers. But anyway, I'm losing my train of thought.
like onions we are. Paper is hunched over.
Because it's just the most fucking out-of-pocket shit, Angel. God. Anyway, because of the fact that they were used and abused in their past and they were almost framed for something that they didn't, they ran away, and so they shut themselves off from other people. Other people are just tools to them because that's how they felt. They were just a tool in the past.
Yeah, no, I can definitely. There's a very pivotal moment, I think, in my character Valentino's life.
Mm-hmm. I'm talking about Milan. Talk Valentino.
Yeah, finally.
What do you mean, finally? You constantly yap to me about your character.
Finally!
Uh,
The
see, but-
world has to know.
Oh my god, wait, no, you're right. The world gets to know about our characters. This is no longer just an in our friend group thing. Oh, you guys are in for a wild ride.
Oh my gosh. So there's a very pivotal moment, I think, in Valentino's life. And there's a lot of really, really shitty things that have happened to him. But I think this moment,
That's
despite
putting it lightly.
despite all the really shitty things, there's one moment that I think completely changed the course of his life and changed the course of his personality. And it happened on his 11th birthday.
Oh boy, I know this story. I know this story already. Y'all can already. Go on, get close to the mic. All you.
All right, everyone stand back. And by everyone, I mean just you.
No, there's actually like 5 other people in here as we're speaking. They're just really quiet.
Whoa. Anyways, when Valentino was 11, he was initiated into his mafia family.
Mafia family.
And
yes.
the way the mafia family initiation happens is usually, and from, some research I did and just kind of my basis, when you enter these kind of really close packed groups, there is some type of bodily mutilation that has to happen
Yeah.
to prove that you are worthy and willing.
Yeah.
So Valentino's was that he had to remove his canine tooth with a pair of pliers,
Mm.
no anesthetic,
Mm.
and of course, being 11, he was scared. So his dad did this fun little thing.
So in D&D, in Dungeons and Dragons, for those of you who haven't played it, there's magic in that game.
There's a fun little spell called the command spell,
Ugh.
in which you command a creature to do something. The thing with the command spell is there is a chance for the creatures being casted on to fight it off.
Right.
And when we were acting out this scene, I don't know if you know this.
I know, this is new.
I rolled the wisdom save, and I got a nat 20. I got a natural 20.
So that we should have succeeded, no?
Valentino chose to fail. Because in Dungeons and Dragons, if you succeed on a roll or you don't succeed on a roll, you can choose to fail. His dad used the command spell on him about 3 times to make him pull the tooth out. And I think that moment, sitting in front of a room of adults and not a single one tried to help him or stop what was happening, and having the adult who is supposed to take care of him command him to do that to himself really told him in that moment that this is all he was worth.
Yeah. So you know how everyone's like problems in their adult life start from their childhood? This is a prime example of that. It's the childhood years are so pivotal. They're so like they're in charge of so much of the formation of who is a person that if even just one bad thing happens, that can have irreparable damage later on down the line.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. But with that fun little tidbit, we're gonna take another little break here, and we'll probably have another little shitty little ad here, or maybe just a stupid.
Should we have an ad for like floss now?
Maybe mouthwash.
Mouthwashing?
No! Help me.
The Barbie movie.
Baby Driver.
Legally Blonde.
What do these movies have in common?
I'm Elise.
I'm Sterling, and we'll be your hosts for But What Does This Mean, Really?
A show where we talk movies, culture, and psychology. Where we'll be talking about those 3 movies and more.
See you there.
So we were wandering around this little like media room that they're letting us use, and have people fucked in here? I genuinely think so. Like I wouldn't, or not I genuinely think so, but I think I wouldn't be surprised.
It's really uncomfortable.
I mean, yeah, but if you're like horny, you'll find a way to do it.
I guess.
Like don't underestimate the libido.
I wouldn't know. I'm asexual, so.
Yeah.
This witch talk you're speaking to me is confusing.
This switch talk you're talking to me is
I don't know what fucking language you're talking, dude.
It's probably best if you don't know. Anyway, let's just pretend like that never happened. Anyway, what were you talking about? Oh yeah, traumatizing your characters at a young age in order to irreversibly damage them in the future.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's great.
it's great. So we left off, Valentino had just pulled his tooth out and just realized that nobody will ever be there to help him. And that really formed who he is as a person.
Yeah, and now he really, really wants people to like him. Not like, he wants someone to love him.
Right.
But in his brain, the only way he can do that is by offering up parts of his body.
And that holds a lot of implications that we're not going to get into right now. But it does
That's
show...
for episode 5.
That's for episode 5. Oh no. Should we just keep the title of episode 5 secret?
Of course.
Yeah, you're not ready for episode 5. But anyway, that just
I
shows this is to illustrate the fact that backstory is very pivotal in personality. If anything, backstory is kind of like the starting point because you don't really
Yeah.
I mean, there are when you're talking like in terms of psychology, there are hereditary traits that you
Mhm.
get. But for the most part, when you're a baby, you don't really have much of a personality. It's what happens around you that
No.
forms what that personality is.
And to be clear, a backstory, while pivotal, doesn't necessarily have to be a traumatizing backstory.
Right.
You can still write an interesting character with inner conflicts and have them grow up in a normal-ass house with normal-ass parents.
It's just traumatizing is one of those cheat codes if you want believable characters because most writers have trauma. And so it'll be like, oh my God, he's just like me
He
for
just
real.
like me for real.
But I also, so let's switch it over to now the personality into backstory. It is partially due to the fact that like personality it is like personality is into fuck, I lost my train of thought again. The pills are starting to kick in, so and like in that weird midway of like focused but not focused. We are idiots. Anyway, yes, events how your character acts is gonna dictate what they do and what the hell they get themselves into. But more so than that, when you make if you're doing personality first, when you then get to the backstory, and by the way, backstory is just a term that we're using for background, the character's history, you know, what led them to where they are right now in your setting. But you have to wonder, like, okay, if they act in a very happy, very respectful way, why were they formed that way? Did they just have really good parents that instilled these morals? Or were they shown that acting out in negative ways is counterproductive, and so they have to constantly be nice in order to
I have a
prove something?
question for you, Paper.
Huh?
How do you feel about sometimes there's a character whose personality directly contracts their backstory, and it's because they're just kind of like that?
I don't like that personally.
Interesting.
I don't like that personally. And I'll tell you why. So when it comes down to it, you everything comes from a reason. At least I like to
Yeah.
believe that everything comes from a reason.
Yeah.
So you don't just get something out of nothing. That goes against the laws of physics, and I'm not going to go into physics lecture, but actually, but
Sorry, I checked out as soon as you said physics.
I promise you, there's no physics here. This is funny, haha, creative writing.
Yay!
Yay! But there is no way in hell your backstory directly contrasts with your personality, and that person is going to act in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there is the off chance, there is one way you can make that work, and I like to imagine that it's through some sort of like epiphany moment where, so if we use our example, let's say, for example, bad backstory equals bad personality. Not bad as in quality, but bad as in like traits, right? Negative traits.
Yeah.
So let's say we have a character that has a bad backstory, good personality. Why? How? And I like to think that there must have how.
I can think of a couple of reasons.
You can think of a couple of reasons, and there is a way to do it, but you have to make sure that you do it properly. One way is that sort of like epiphany. I want to say an epiphany, although that it doesn't really have to be one specific moment, but it's that sort of time when your character is like, hold on. If we're using our bad into good, it's like, hold on. I went through bad shit, but I don't want others to go through bad shit. So I'm gonna do my best to do good things.
Yay!
But that's also, that's correlation. But if it's just like a really shittily made bad backstory and like a really shittily descriptive like personality that just there's no real reason why the way that he grew up led into that. If there's nothing that describes that, I wouldn't exactly consider it good writing.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I was just getting the conversation ball rolling.
The conversation ball rolling. Well, this is what a podcast is all about, isn't it? It's literally just talking to each other.
Yeah.
And then you have a bunch of people or like a fake audience over there in the corner that are
What?
like,
Where the hell did they come from? Shit!
Get out! Yeah!
Run!
But yeah. Now that kind of ties into what I wanted to talk about, and this might actually take up the next 30 minutes.
Okay.
But
Am I about to get taught?
No, I wouldn't say so. But this is something that hell, even when I took a creative writing class, this was like the first thing that we learned. And honestly, it's probably been the most impactful thing. And I get to bring out one of my favorite OCs. You good there?
Yes. No, I'm listening. I'm just having a little fun.
You having fun with the squishy things on the sides? Okay.
Yeah.
But let's talk about attitude.
Whoa.
Insert transition here. Ooh.
Do-do-do-do-do.
Let's talk. No, it's okay. We'll get
Is
like
that our theme song?
do 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 do. And then the opposite is da 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 or some
We'll
shit.
pick a theme
We'll
song
pick it.
later.
We'll have like one of those like little sound things that real like podcasters do, where they like touch something and it plays like a sound effect.
Can
But,
we have a clip from the Barbie movie where she just goes balls really loudly?
Sure, we can have a clip where she just go balls.
Yay.
Yay! But anyway, attitude refers to, and I also use it interchangeably. Oh, wait, no, never mind. God, I'm like edging you again because we didn't even go over name.
Did you just blue ball me?
Whoops, sorry. We never even went over name. Do not name a character Gertruda, for fuck's sake. I beg you.
For context, there's an NPC in one of my D&D campaigns, and her name is Gertruda, and Paper was not a fan of that.
It's a bad name. I'm sorry. It's a bad name. And okay, listen, you can name your characters whatever you want, but it's important to pick a name that's fitting, okay? And I know that this is coming from a context that I dislike the name Gertruda, but I mean this wholeheartedly, okay?
Do you want to hear something funny?
What?
About Valentino's name?
What?
It technically kind of means ladies' man, which is really funny because he's gay.
But that's the thing. So here, and actually, no, wait, this does segue into attitude, so we're fine. But anyway, Valentino feels like a Valentino.
Oh, I mean, yeah. Have you seen the way he acts?
Yeah, but no, Valentino feels like he'd be named Valentino. I made 2 chapters of a book for creative writing, and I named my characters Reed and Lynn. Reed was very shut off, very meek, very, oh, I don't want to put this on you, or it's not your fault, or very hypersensitive. Lynn was a little bit more straightforward, she's nicer, she's a lot more open. But the professor was like, hey, listen, do you pick some really good names? Because that does sound like, he sounds like a Reed, and she sounds like a Lynn. And that's the important thing with picking a name. It has to hold meaning in some way, and it doesn't have to be like the name literally means something, even though Valentino is a ladies' man.
He's a girl's girl.
But the name, in terms of vibes, this is where it gets iffy in the arts. We go into vibes a lot. Just, are the vibes right, or are they sketch?
Are the vibes vibing?
Or are they not?
Or are they kerplunking?
Right.
What the fuck does that mean?
I don't fucking know. New word added to the dictionary.
Yeah!
Yeah. But anyway, but name ties directly into the essence of the character or attitude. You form the attitude of a character through descriptive details.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard the term show, don't tell?
Yes.
Hey guys, guess what? Show, don't tell. But I mean it, seriously. Show, don't tell. And so that's why when you're describing a character, everyone... Do you remember that fucking fan fiction or whatever? My Immortal?
My name is Ebony Darkness Dementia Ravenway, and I have long ebony black hair. That's how I got my name, with red streaks to my middle back. And I could keep going.
Yeah.
Would you like me to?
Go ahead. Give us the full rundown.
I changed my mind. Never mind. I don't want to.
But for those of you who don't know, My Immortal is a really shitty Harry Potter fan fiction. Harry Potter, right?
Yes, it is I know too much about My Immortal. It is a fan fiction featuring the author's self-insert Ebony Darkness Dementia Ravenway.
Dementia is crazy.
Can you guess what kind of clothing style she likes to wear? You don't have to guess because the author tells you in disgustingly gross detail every piece an article of clothing that Ebony Darkness Dementia Ravenway is ever wearing.
Oh my god, can we find some clue? Hold on.
Some clips from My Immortal? You absolutely can.
Hold on. It's not typing. It could be okay. I'm exiting the studio. Don't stop the recording.
Okay. Paper is going to try and pull up some quotes from My Immortal right now. So it's just you and me, guys. I'm actually taking over the podcast. So yeah.
Perfect. Hi guys, I'm back.
Oh no.
Yeah, fucking Paper's back. But anyway, we have something coming straight from the My Immortal wiki.
Would
right
you
here.
like me to narrate this or do you want to?
Do you
Here we go. You read the dialogue, I'll read the other stuff.
Okay.
The next day, I woke up in my bedroom. It was snowing and raining again. I opened the door of my coffin and drank some blood from a bottle I had. My coffin was black ebony, and inside it was hot pink velvet with black lace at the ends. I got out of my coffin and took out my giant MCR t-shirt, which I used for pajamas. Instead, I put on a black leather dress, a pentagram necklace, combat boots, and black fishnets on. I put on 4 pairs of earrings in my pierced ears and put my hair in a kind of messy bun. My friend Willow, parentheses, and Raven, this is you, parentheses, woke up then and grinned at me. She flipped her long waist-length raven black hair with pink streaks and opened her forest green eyes. She put on a Marilyn Manson t-shirt and a black mini, fishnets, and pointy high-heeled boots. We put on our makeup, parentheses, black lipstick, white foundation, and black eyeliner, parentheses.
Oh my MOMFG. I saw you talking to Draco Malfoy yesterday.
She said excitedly.
Yeah? So?
I said, blushing.
Do you like Draco?
She asked as we went out of the Slytherin common room and into the Great Hall.
No, I so fucking don't.
I shouted.
Yeah, right.
She exclaimed. Just then Draco walked up to me.
And we're gonna save you the rest yeah, we can do a My Immortal read through later.
That'd be kind of fun.
No, honestly, like picking it apart. I mean, how many videos have already been done on that though?
See, but do they pick it apart?
They don't pick it apart.
We should give Ebony Darkness Dementia Ravenway the benefit of the doubt.
Mm-hmm. But what I mean to illustrate by this is that there is way too much detail, and we can probably already assume that these characters are emo by the fucking name. And yet they're over here like my giant MCR shirt, my specific stockings. Like
4 earrings in her ears?
that's a lot.
That just sounds like, I mean, I guess because she didn't clarify if they're going in the same hole.
I guess. I'm imagining there's multiple holes, but still, like, that's too much. A better way to do it is, and I'm going to use an example of my own writing here. Whoa, yeah. But I had a character that was also on the emo side of things for a short story. But there were only a few traits that I described to really get her across. One, her eye, the protagonist that we were following thought that she was wearing really thick eyeliner only to realize they were eye bags.
Ooh.
Every time she walked, you could hear the clunking of her boots, combat boots. You could see that. You could see like a little hint of silver jewelry peeking out from under like the barista apron. But the point is, these little things they help you get an image, but they don't describe it to you in such a specific way that...
I also know that in the very beginning of My Immortal, Ebony Darkness Dementia Ravenway does in fact turn to the camera and say, in case you can tell, I'm Gothic, spelt with F's.
That's just straight tell, don't show.
And there's a... See, because you need to have a mix of show and tell and show. Because sometimes it's okay to just tell the reader something.
Right.
Sometimes some things don't necessarily need to be described in insanely innate detail.
Adverbs are good, guys.
You can just say they woke up at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Okay, it's fine.
I stirred up from under the covers. I looked over at the clock shining 6:00 on it. She was like, I mean, it makes it sound a little bit more dramatic. And that's if you're going into literary fiction,
Depends.
Yes.
If the day is notable and meaningful.
Exactly.
If their ass is just going to the goddamn bakery, I do not care.
No, exactly. So that's exactly where it's choice detail. These are choice details that tell you when something is significant.
Yeah.
If they're normally waking up at 10, but then they suddenly wake up at like, oh, we still got time. If they're normally someone who wakes up at like 10, 11 and they woke up at 6, why are they waking up at 6 suddenly? Did they decide to turn their life around and start sleeping early? Or was something keeping them up and they couldn't be able to sleep properly? I don't know, but that's choice detail. And that goes into attitude, because the choice details that you do reflect the attitude of the character. Now, I'm finally going to get to attitude. I've been teasing it for way too long.
Don't edge me again.
No. You'll get to climax, I promise. We'll get to the climax. The rising action is over. Climax.
Finally. A chance to relieve myself.
Wait until we get to the fouling action. But anyway. But it's... The essence of the character, or attitude, focuses on two primary things. It focuses on those important descriptive details that we talked about, those choice details, not overly describing who the character is, but also, and I use the word this, determining what their attitude is regarding themselves and others.
Okay.
So what do I mean by this? It's really cool, honestly, when you really like get into the nitty-gritty. This all sounds like much flavor text, but imagine for me,
Okay.
A woman who, when she walks into the rooms, she stares around with beady black eyes. The way that she carries herself out makes her seem way larger than she is. And the way that she like huffs at, oh, I accidentally smacked the mic. And the way that she huffs at the other people who are in this like medical waiting room. That reflects the attitude of the character towards themselves. They see themselves as superior in some way, shape, or form compared to everybody else.
Yeah.
And that makes you superior because we all have an attitude towards people and we all have an attitude towards the world. And that's what really sort of seals the deal for making a believable character. I believe, anyway. And I'm going to use an example of a character that I didn't even know I was doing this when I made them.
Okay.
So let's talk about Hidaka Aoi. In case it's Japanese because I make a lot of Japanese OCs, something Weebera, whatever. I don't fucking care.
Cringe ass.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm kidding. I love you.
Yeah, I love you too. But anyway, it's okay. I've broadened my horizons. I'm making Americans now. Oh,
Whoa. Did you make Danganronpa OCs?
I used to. So that's why you can see why I got the Japanese because my first role plays were Danganronpa.
Oh my god, they were.
Mhm. So that's why. But she is a Tengu, but that's not really important. See, here I am describing shit that I don't need to describe. But her attitude towards the world is that she grew up in a place where she was sheltered from the world. And so she doesn't see this world as this big, scary place. She sees it as a place to be explored, a place to drive her curiosity, a place to get answers. That's why she became a reporter.
Ooh.
That's why she decided to run away from home and go
Yeah.
into the wider city world. And that's why even when the world showcases its ugly side, she takes into consideration the nicer side. Because her attitude towards the world is that there is beauty in the world and she wants to
Yeah.
discover it. She wants to find it. And I hadn't even realized that I was doing attitude. I was just role-playing her and writing with her like normal. And everyone's like, oh my God, she's such a cool character. And it's just like, I didn't even really do anything special.
That was all on accident.
That was all an accident.
You
but
want me to
that's
do
the-
it again?
You want me to do it again? But that's the thing. That's attitude. And attitude is so important. So now let's go to our example of our lovely, lovely Valentino. What is his attitude towards him in the world? Towards
Actually,
himself, the
Well,
world,
his
and
attitude
others.
towards himself is very poor.
Yeah.
He views other people as, in a weird way, he views other people as having ultimate authority over him
Mhm.
because he lives to service.
Right. That service holds a lot of layers.
I could talk about another character.
No. Go for it. Go for it.
I'm her.
Valentino is perfect. I mean, whoever you want to. I mean,
He is perfect.
he is perfect. He's lovely.
Something perfect characters are bad
Did
except for Valentino.
Did you want to do Ismet, maybe?
Oh my god, stop reading my mind, you weirdo.
We totally didn't discuss this beforehand. Nah, I'm kidding.
We didn't. We literally
We
didn't.
didn't. No, that's the thing.
So, I have a character. Her name is Ismin Bozelli. She...
You know, fun fact, Milan's last name is also Botelli. That was also a complete accident.
That was an accident. I didn't know that shit.
Yeah. But anyway.
My bad.
Mm-hmm.
Ismin grew up in a family that completely shunned her for the person that she was. Nobody ever wanted to really talk to her.
Mhm.
And she spent most of her time in her family's library, reading and having these empty, meaningless conversations with the words on the paper. And in turn, kind of the way that she views her attitude towards other people is that nobody is going to give her the meaningful conversation that she wants. Everyone is talking about these things that are in her mind meaningless, you know, fanciful things like what are they going to do with their friends this weekend? Isma never had any friends.
Right.
She doesn't, those meaningless conversations to her are pointless.
So towards that attitude, how does that reflect in her personality and how she acts towards people?
She can come off very cold.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she doesn't care what you're talking about. But it's just because in her mind, this conversation you're having is necessary.
Right.
It almost seems like she hates the company of other people, but she wants the company of other people who are willing to have these conversations with her.
And so she could be aloof.
Aloof. For sure aloof. And she's
definitely.
very distrusting of people.
Exactly. But here's the thing. So I remember, I'm actually going to rescind my previous statement. You shouldn't start with personality. You shouldn't start with backstory. You shouldn't even start with name. You need to start with attitude. And that's going to give you a good character. Because I know for a fact that when I made that goddamn bird, that goddamn owie, The first thing that came to mind was attitude. That was the first thing. I didn't
Yeah.
even realize it was attitude. I thought it was just a part of her personality,
Yeah.
but that's her attitude. And from there, I was able to formulate this character that just feels so lifelike, so
Yeah.
real.
I feel like there's also an internal and external attitude.
There is. And that also ties into the backstory, but the internal attitude could be
Because Valentino's external attitude is that he's the shit.
right.
He acts like he has this huge ego. He puts on this very falsified confidence.
Bro's shit doesn't stink.
And it doesn't.
He uses poopery, guys. By
He
the way,
smells-
not sponsored by poopery, but
He smells fucking lovely. He smells fantastic.
fantastic.
But yeah, he has this external attitude
So sorry.
that he really, truly believes in himself. He has this fake confidence. He walks around like he's not scared of anything. You know, nothing gets to him because he is not allowed to let things get to him
Right.
because that is his defense mechanism.
And that attitude has evolved and shown. That's how it like sprouted.
Yeah.
That's how it showed up.
I think very few people know his internal attitude.
But if you can get to that, you've gotten to the essence of who that person is.
Yeah.
Isn't that true for real life though? If you find who the essence of someone is, you've basically known them as best as you can.
Yeah.
No matter what they've done or what they've committed in the past. Well, I mean, obviously that. But, like,
Murder is bad, guys. Don't
yes,
do it.
guys, God. But their attitude is what matters because people's attitude matters. And I think if we acknowledge people's attitude, we acknowledge who they are at their very core.
Yeah.
And so in any sort of romantic relationship, you look for the attitude that you're into or the attitude that they present themselves. In friends, you look
Yeah.
for people with maybe similar attitudes. Or maybe you're actively looking for someone with a different attitude because you want to learn from them.
What's my attitude?
So we're going to cut this.
Why?
Your attitude is lovely. You are a very selfless
Aw.
and kind person.
Aw.
Before this, I hadn't eaten breakfast. I woke up late and shoot, Angel. It's okay.
Restart the sentence. We'll
It's-
cut it.
We'll cut it, yeah. But, Angel here, I had woken up late for work, and I didn't get to eat breakfast. And so I'm like complaining in the chat that we all have, and 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 Angel's like, "Hey, you want me to get you something?" And I'm like, I'm too shy to say yes, so no. And so Angel's like, "So that's a yes. What do you want?" And he got pissed off that I tried to pay him back. But that's just his attitude towards people. And that's why I love him that much. And that's why I appreciate him as a friend. I know this is supposed to be a character creation, but this is part of it. Make characters with attitude. Their attitude is going to reflect everything of that is them, who is them. And that's all I have.
Yeah.
We managed to get through the first episode.
Holy crap.
Little slip of the tongue there, but we can edit it out later.
Well,
or just get someone to go like
Nobody will know. Nobody will even know.
nobody will even know. I mean, I even instead of cutting it out, we could just like like put like a
Yeah. Whatever we think sounds
Yeah.
cool.
I'm sure, but we're just listen, guys. We're just trying to keep our identity a little secret. We have slips of the tongue, and actually, no. That's actually I understand. I know why I did that slip of the tongue because I'm talking about your attitude. So here I'm not talking about your internet persona. I'm just talking about you. Do you understand the power of attitude? Do you see why I'm such a stickler for this?
Okay. Hey, you need to calm down. It's going to be okay.
Use attitude, guys.
Use attitude.
Use attitude. If you can determine the attitude of a character, you'll have an easy time writing them.
I have a metaphor for you.
Oh. Is this how is this
The-
how we should end it? Like the angel's metaphor of the day?
Think of when you're writing a character, you're trying to use everything in your toolkit. Use your attitude as your toolbox to hold every other tool, like your background, your personality, your public persona, your private persona, your values, your aspirations. Use the attitude as the toolbox to hold all of those tools together.
Hold up. His writing is this fire. And with that, we're going to end off this first episode. Thank you guys so much for listening, whoever is listening out there. We really appreciate it. And we hope to see you in the next one.
We love you.
We love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.